first time admitting this on social media. When Naira was 9 months old, she rolled off the bed. My God, the baby of that size falling off a bed, you know, the guilt.
Yeah.
Doc,
Yeah.
I thought this is it. She's going to have something for the rest of her life. I have ruined this situation. I'm a bad mother. I called you at 3 in the morning.
Hi guys, loving the love you're giving me on Instagram, listening to me. As a mark of respect and gratitude, this, From Tears to Cheers, is our new effort, intent to make your life as a parent easier. I'm going to have special guests here, special doctors, some celebrity moms to chat with me as parents who've been in your shoes. We learn from their experiences, we change our parenting techniques, we contribute to their knowledge, and they tell us how they did it. So stay tuned and we keep learning. So, my first guest today on this podcast technically needs no introduction. I'll give you 3 names to describe her, and by the time you guess, she'll be on screen, but I'm sure it's going to be fun. Happiness creator, imperfectly perfect, and the last and the easiest one, messy mama, Sameera Reddy.
Hi, Doc.
Hi, Sameera, how are you?
I'm good. I didn't realize 7 years later, after meeting you, I'd be on your podcast. Congratulations. My God,
Thank
this
you.
is big.
Thank you. It's just an attempt to kind of, have people like you here to explain your journeys and give your 2 bits to parenting, healthcare, your environment at home, your journey of bringing them up and what you've gone through.
Absolutely. I think parenting is the most confusing space, which I think every day I still question myself. Am I doing this right? Am I getting this right? Is this wrong? And you're looking for information. You're looking to be an informed parent. And that's where you come in.
I think my journey starts with your trust. So I tell every parent out there, it's a privilege to be someone's pediatrician because they come to you in their most difficult times with arms wide open, in the most submissive form. Okay, look, now this is your responsibility.
I'm telling you, Doc, you've been my therapist at many points, okay? And it has gone from a therapist to, am I a good mom? To, am I a good person? What am I doing? And sometimes even with marriage.
So for me, talking to you is like my break away from patients, where the first few minutes is calming you down. But once you calm down, I remember at the end of every call, there are these 2 lines you pass. Are, is it okay if I do this? Are, is that okay? Are, let it go nowhere. I said, okay, now she's better. Her panic's gone. So you have this knack of self-calming. Once you know you're on the right track, once you know you've spoken to somebody.
But Doc, I'm going to bring this in to most moms and I'm going to say this out loud. Either you can have someone who makes you feel that you can trust your instinct as a mother, and we have that inbuilt. The minute that baby's in your arms, you know what to do. But you're questioning yourself.
Correct.
And that's where I guess you've come in and said, I'm going to empower you. I'm going to make you independent and informed enough to make your own decisions at many points and not panic, pick up the call and say, Doc, what do I do? I think that's what I really appreciate.
See, for us, it's trying to establish a rapport with the parent because parenting is not easy. Bringing up children in Mumbai, in any city across the world, even where you are right now, it's not easy. With the kind of sicknesses, with juggling multiple aspects of their life, education, growth, mental health, you're constantly questioning
And Doc,
yourself.
we get scared. You look at, like, I guess you open Instagram or social media or news, and there's always, this is a new thing coming out. This is what's going wrong, and this could happen to your child. And
information overload.
It's an information overload, which makes you get really scared. And then it's important, I love the fact that you come out with these viral videos which actually address that particular situation at that point. So I swear to God, I'll say, oh my God, COVID is hit, the new strain, the this, the that, and I'm just like, and the next thing I know is literally in a couple of hours, I see you with your cool green glasses and your green stethoscope. Very, very fancy and stylish. I love it. And then so relatable, where you're like immediately putting rest to my fears. And that is what is needed, because already we are so stressed out, we're so paranoid. And we need to know that it's going to be okay.
So before I put you under the scanner, I'm going to take a minute to tell people why and how, partially inspired by you, Instagram came about for me. For me, it was COVID times. For me, it was, how do I answer the same question over and over again? Because at that time, there were very standard questions. There was no disease. In fact, at some point, COVID for children was the healthiest time ever.
Yeah.
Because there was, first wave was for adults. Unfortunately, children were not involved. But during that time, children never felt sick. It was only the panic that what will happen in the future. So that's when I was encouraged by my wife, Sejal, my teenage daughter, Sia. I'm an absolute, what we call as teetotaler with technology. They taught me what to do, and I put it on, and then I saw this immense world out there waiting to listen to the right information. Influencers like you, pioneers, contributors, which put out information, and the connect is established like this.
Immediately, our COVID video went into millions.
Correct.
And I shot it with Doc when I had COVID.
Yes.
I was actually down with COVID. I said, you know what? If I'm panicked and I don't know what I'm doing and I'm asking Doc these billion questions, let's
Correct.
all put it in one video.
Correct.
And my God, that video was shared. The numbers
I think more than millions.
Millions.
It was millions.
And
that was
that's
insane.
where I think that in a medium of so much information, the right information is the most important thing. I use social media as a tool
Correct.
to correct what I feel is going wrong.
Right.
When I have anxiety, when I see people are these, momfluencers being perfect. Oh my God, I got 2 children. I wake up every morning. I make them green juice. I don't give them sugar. I know what I'm doing. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Correct.
So, and the minute I feel that, I'm putting it out there. And so many mothers just respond, because actually we all are finding our way. We are a work in progress. We are not perfect.
So the exact example that you gave is what led me to bring you as my first guest. Because you are technically the most genuine parent out there.
Oh God, thank you.
With a following of people who actually believe you for you. Not aspiring to be this perfect mom who wakes up with the perfect breath in the morning and perfect hair and kisses her husband, who takes it without making even flinching a bit. But you are the one who says, look, this is who I am.
Yes.
This is my journey. And this is what I want to portray out to the world. And that's what people love you. And this is what I'm going to try and do in to bring it out so that people can understand that this life is not perfect. Nobody's life is perfect. And it's time that we do what's best, that we know how to.
Absolutely.
Taking tips from people like us, who are a little bit of an expert, healthcare and parenting.
But the only difference is that you're actually a proper certified doctor, and I've become like a Dilka doctor, self-certified.
So we have this. Experience is a better teacher than your books.
True.
So we learn a lot from med school, but what teaches us is our patience. Day to day we learn. And the longer we keep our minds open, the more we learn, the better doctors we become. So let me now start scaring you with certain questions which you have to answer.
Okay.
Like you normally do in Sameera style.
True.
Yeah, just put it out there. First question, your scariest incident related to your baby?
First time admitting this on social media. Nothing happened when I had Hans. I was this paranoid mother, and I expected to be that when I had Naira. But when Naira was 9 months old, I know many of you moms have done this. She rolled off the bed. And she fell hard. And I cannot tell you, I'm literally getting, like, my skin is like, I started crying hysterically because she was crying hysterically. And then Hans was crying hysterically because he thought that he sort of got her to fall. And I think I'll never know where she hit, whether she hit her head or her arm. But my God, the baby of that size falling off a bed, the guilt.
Yeah.
Doc.
Yeah, it's insane.
I'm still like,
yeah,
I'm shaking
yeah,
because I went crazy. I think at that moment I thought this
Yeah.
is it, game
Yeah,
over.
yeah,
She wouldn't stop crying.
Yeah.
I thought this is it. She's going to have something for the rest of her life. I have ruined this situation. I'm a bad mother. I called you at 3 in the morning. First of all, crying. I couldn't even breathe. I think.
Yeah, I've heard her, I must admit, I've heard her cry, where it was a point where I had to literally tell her, Sameera, I can't understand. You'll need to first stop crying. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
was great.
I said, Doc, she's
Yes.
fallen. And
Hyperventilating along with crying,
yeah,
so I was a little
because
lost there.
Akshay was hyperventilating.
Yeah,
Hans thought it was his fault. Poor Bacha was just lying next to him. And she just, how babies roll, right? At that point. It was 9 or 10 months.
Correct.
And you were so calm. And you were like, it's okay. First, we will check the vitals. And you were like, we will check. If you were first. And I remember the first thing you told me was, any vomiting has happened. And I'm like, vomiting? Why would I be vomiting?
No, so I remember the point where, Doc, you were not here. You should have heard the noise it made.
Yeah.
There's something hit inside. You have no clue.
Something is broken.
Yes.
I said broken, bones are
Yes.
broken.
Yes.
I said there's something. How can I check the brain? The words coming out of my mouth.
Should we get an MRI done? Should we get a CT scan done right now? And I could hear 3 voices from the background. Ask him this, ask him that.
And Hans was crying.
He was crying because you were crying, and it's pandemonium.
And the first thing he did, and I love this, he said, you need to stay calm because you have another child, and that child is going to think that it was his fault.
So,
and we don't know because everybody was sleeping. Then you said, check about the vomiting. Then you said, these are the signs. If anything, if there's any vomiting, you were so calm. And I just went, but it was scary because people forget that as a new mother, my God, there's this little living thing. We forget about, it's a miracle of life. You have this little thing who's depending on you for breast milk, to take care of this life. It is a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
And that's why when mothers are expected to just snap back, look good, know it all, this new mom who has it together, I always say we don't have it together.
Correct.
Because the pressure is immense. The hormones that kick in, the social expectation of a snap back.
Correct.
And then you have this little baby looking at you, and you have to burp and you have to figure out, how many times, doctor, I've gone to the baby and just said, are they breathing?
Yes, we get that very often. Yeah. And so it's either the opposite. Are they breathing too fast? Is it too noisy? Is my child having pneumonia? Because, the words like this are dropped at, like just you are picking apples at home. Arey, check for pneumonia. It can be this. It can be that. And as a parent, you will always think of the worst possibility.
Absolutely.
And that's when we keep saying that being a parent is no joke. You need to keep yourself calm. You need to realize that it's okay to break down.
And it's okay not to be okay.
It's okay not to be okay is the most important. The minute you accept it as a mother, half your job is done, because the pressure that you put yourself under as compared to what it is in real life, taking care of that thing right in front of you, is what is literally killing you.
And I always say this, don't ever compare yourself to me also. I mean, I always say this, that everybody has different support systems. They have different issues going on. You cannot say what works for you will work for me.
Everyone's journey is different.
Everybody's journey is different.
And I want to take this opportunity to actually tell every newborn, mother of a newborn, that it is a huge hormonal storm inside you. And you know that.
I'm still hormonal. I'm always hormonal.
Yes, and that is unfortunately continued, which is fortunate for your energy. Your energy is contagious, let me tell you. I'm just jumping out of my seat here, because I can feel that the passion that you do it with. And that's the same passion that got you through as a mother, that is continuing, kind of helping you balance things, keeping your identity intact. And that's what we tell all mothers, that stay happy. A happy mom has a happy child. If you are stressed out there, if you are not emotionally, physically, or mentally happy as a mother, there is no way You can keep your child, newborn, 2-year-old, 4-year-old, 7-year-old happy.
Yeah.
So do what you enjoy. Strike a balance. Give yourself as much as importance as you would give, when you were 14, 16, 18 years old. And you will see that you will shine as a mother. And that's exactly what you're doing.
I have to say this. It's a good thing as a mother or as a woman to be selfish.
Absolutely.
Selfish is not a bad word, guys. Selfish is a great word, because if you don't take care of yourself, this whole thing is, the mother should always put, everybody first. The husband first, the sasu ma first. What's there to eat? What's this thing? Bacche ko kya khilayenge? I always say this. Focus on yourself. Give yourself that little bit of love and that time you need, because it's what do you do in an airplane, right? You put the mask, they say, put the mask on yourself.
Correct.
Breathe.
Yes.
And then you put it on the baby.
It's
I say
analogy.
that always, even in motherhood, breathe and take care of yourself so that you can be a more efficient, happy, and most importantly, just a calm, balanced mom.
Correct.
Which comes from you being balanced.
Correct. And that's where we try and put in our 2-bit. Our goal as pediatricians is best to make the parent confident, to calm them down, make them feel that, look, everything is not in my control. And when things go out of control, I have a team ready. Like you said, a support system.
Yes.
And we are extremely proud of being a part of a parent's support system. It's a great honor for us to be picked, to be a part of it, and to give our 2 bits of expertise as and when required to complete your circle of care for your child.
Superb, dog.
Yeah. Let's go to the next one.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So this, I think it's kind of overlapping. But what is the silliest reason you've called your pediatrician?
Oh, God. It's never been a silly reason. Because in my brain, as a paranoid, over-efficient mother, I want to know everything I'm doing is right or wrong. Like, I remember, I feel it's silly, but doctor, how do I improve immunity? I think it's silly because, we have to improve their immunity on so many levels, with food, with lifestyle, with the choice of place that they live in, with the polluted areas or cities. Like, how can you just tell me, I want to increase the immunity? How can I put that pressure on anyone to do that?
So let me actually applaud you for that statement, because this was a test question and you passed with flying colors. And this is what we tell every parent who leaves our clinic, that there is no question like a silly question. Knock yourself out. Harrow the living daylights out of your pediatrician till you don't get an answer that you need.
Harrow, doctor.
Wriggle by the neck. Jawab do. Until you're not satisfied, do not let us go. Okay, next question.
I have to say, how do you get time for your wife with all of us mothers running after you?
I'm not going to answer that question for the sole reason that if there is no answer to that. I have still not managed to crack that question. It's a battle on daily basis, but she is the most supportive.
That's great.
You can't even imagine. When we recently got married, and it was the first few nights, my phone rang at 3. She literally fell off the bed. She said, whose phone rings at 3 and 5?
And that too, women calling you.
Women calling. It is, okay. So that is a lot of insecurity that she's worked herself around.
But I have to tell you, with these green glasses and that green stethoscope, you are so approachable, because it's like you just seem extremely cool. So where does this come from?
So this comes from my innate desire to be different since childhood. Like, people laugh because you're different. I have another theory.
No, it's unique.
I laugh at people because they're all the same.
Yeah.
So when there is this innate energy to stand out in your own way, to follow, express yourself. I mean, this is my way of expressing myself. And the good thing is I'm a pediatrician. If I was a cancer surgeon and gone like this, nobody would say, Arey Baba, he's going to save my life. So the perks of being a pediatrician is this.
Yeah.
And kids love it.
Yeah.
Kids come to the clinic wearing different glasses because I wear, and take a picture with me.
Oh.
Because they want to kind of have that element of fun at the clinic.
So cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a fun environment.
I love that.
Yeah. And that's when people open up.
Exactly.
Mothers, we tell them, okay, you know what? You are in stress. I want you to really be comfortable here. And just tell me what's actually. And that's when the magic happens. They tell me symptoms medically, which I would not have been able to look for if that mother was kind of in a state of intimidation. You can't talk to a doctor like this. you can't ask me that question twice. If that's the aura I put around, it's going to, yes, give me less time with the patient and see more patients, but it's never going to have satisfied and confident mothers. So that's the final goal.
That's
Be
fabulous.
comfortable. This should be second home, which eventually with the kind of sickness around becomes only.
Doctor, can we just clone you?
No. My IT team is working on it. So we are going to figure out a way to make that happen soon. Okay, next question. This is very important to me, and this is where I hold you in deep, deep regards and put you almost on a pedestal. Is one thing that you would advise, give advice or advise new moms?
Wow. I say this from the deepest part of my heart because I made a lot of mistakes with my firstborn. I was not mentally prepared, and I say this again and again, internally for what was going to happen in terms of the hormones, in terms of my relationship with my husband. I always say this. You are with your husband who's the center of your universe, and then that universe changes, and it changes for him, and it changes for you, and it changes with the baby, and all those changes take place.
Correct.
Are you ready for them?
Correct.
You're ready with the perfect pram. You're ready with the bib and the stroller, and
you're looking good.
You're looking good. But are you feeling good?
Correct.
I tell all new mothers very clearly, be extremely aware, conscious, and mindful of the changes in your body, of the changes in your soul.
Correct.
It is very easy to get lost. It's very easy to feel disconnected. It's very easy to think, where is the old me? Don't look at the old you. Pre-partum body.
Correct.
Postpartum body. That's all. Just wipe it.
Yes.
Redefine. This is me now with a baby. You have taken the responsibility of bringing a child into this world, and that's a lot of pressure. So work around that. Create.
And you've had Nihar at 41?
Yes.
Just out there. Tell them it's possible.
Yes, and not only that, I get a lot of girls in their 30s saying, we've not even found a man. And I'm like, how do we have kids? And I'm like, first of all, I believe you can have the kid without the man, in the sense. New age
Yes, absolutely.
parenting. If there are many different ways to become a mother. I believe in that. I am traditional, but I'm also very open and very with the flow of the different ways that today you can be a mother. Most important thing, yes, the fear of the biological clock is, of course, very there. And there are differences from bodies to bodies, from women to women. With Hans, it was pretty easy to get pregnant, surprisingly, at 37. It was first shot. But with Nihar, oh my God, and already I think there was a pressure. I was 40 and everyone's like, oh, you're 40. Maybe that played on my mind, which is one of the reasons why I talk about it and say, correct, it's such a, of course, with all the other things of it being a biological thing, it's also a mindset. And I was already nervous. I was scared because I had a lot of postpartum after Hans. A lot of things playing on my mind.
Correct.
I have to say, in terms of pregnancy, I was very uptight with Hans. I was extremely proper, extremely careful. I won't do this, I won't do that. And it was a really tough pregnancy. And with Nihar, I did an underwater shoot at 8 months.
Yeah, we saw that.
I just had a blast. I sort of ate what I wanted. In fact, I ate a lot of nuts. I just decided to just go all out. And it was a much easier pregnancy. I was of course particular, I was responsible, but I took it much more lighter and I was a happier parent.
Sameera has managed to crack the code of being positive, maintaining a perfect balance, with so much going on around her. Her Instagram, she's globetrotting, she's shooting videos with everybody, she's a parent at home, she's a wonderful wife. Can I say that?
Yes, please.
And a brilliant daughter-in-law. We've seen her super active with her mother-in-law on Instagram as well.
Very kind.
I just want to know how you maintain the positivity inside you and how do you spread the positivity out there? How do you do it?
So people don't know this, but I actually started making content because I was I needed a form of expression to express my anxiety.
Correct.
It did not come from a space of I'm so confident. It came from a space of, oh my God, what am I doing? And when I got onto Instagram and I saw that everybody has it together, I was like, wow, I don't have this together. And there is a real negative space out there, and people are questioning themselves. People are feeling small. People are feeling like, am I good enough? Am I successful enough? Am I pretty enough? And I didn't like that, because I'm like, if I can feel it, imagine what they're feeling.
Correct.
So I immediately went into combat mode, which was, I'm going to change this game, because there is space for everybody. And I say this time and again, you don't have to overtake somebody, or you don't have to try to outdo somebody. You are on your own path.
Right.
Whether it's someone super famous, whether it's someone super simple, we all are trying to find our way.
Space. Yes.
And you don't have to pull somebody down to get up. You are your own competition. Be a better version of yourself. And that's where my positivity comes from. People think that I have it together with sassy Sasu. No, like every daughter-in-law and mother-in-law, man, there are times we both get on each other's nerves big time.
I know.
And you know what we do when we get on each other's nerves? We make a dance reel. That goes viral.
Yes.
So expression is a great form
Correct.
of getting it out there, and being positive is actually about going into your dark side and accepting that there is a space and you need to work on it. It's about being neutral, actually, and that's how I handle it.
Lovely, brilliant. And talking about your relationship with your mother-in-law, I want you to be very candid. It's a little awkward question, but I'm sure you're great. In fact, you're better with awkward questions. Is how post having a baby, postpartum period, how does that affect a relationship between a husband and wife? How do you balance it? And did it happen to you? How did you tackle it?
I always say this, are we communicating with the
Correct.
father?
Correct.
As a couple, are you communicating? Now with Akshay, for the rest of my life, I will be I'm all heart with my husband. You know why? Because he saw me become 105 kgs after Hans.
Yes.
I had postpartum depression. I was all over the place. I was a wreck. I was so huge that he literally couldn't put his arms around me. And the amount I have cried, broken down, he has let me heal.
Correct.
He was okay allowing me to not be okay.
Right.
That sort of system needs to come into place,
Right.
where a man needs to understand about these changes. It's harsh. It's the harsh truth. Do we talk about it? Do we talk about these things? We don't talk about it enough. And I'm trying to say, let's also communicate with the men.
Correct.
And in a marriage, when people are getting married, I don't think everyone's really expecting what's going to come. Even when you say we're having a baby, it all seems extremely glamorous, beautiful, and the next step. I think the beauty is to actually have that moment to say, okay, things are going to change, and how can that father be that equal parent,
Absolutely.
be that on-point husband who is actually going to communicate. This whole Indian dad, Indian husband
Not
thing,
working. No, not
it's
working.
not working, and we are not going to applaud a man for just saying, I'm changing the diapers. And that is actually changing, because I think most fathers today are trying to come on board. And women have to communicate this enough that it's not that they should allow them to say, oh, we'll do everything. And that's also wrong.
No, it's a prime example. At my clinic, till the baby is at least 2 and 3, 70% of the visits are with the father.
Yes.
And there are times when the mother's not there.
Mm-hmm.
There are times it's only the father. There are times it's only the nanny. But that is another culture altogether. Fortunately,
no
it's not.
here. No judgment.
No, whatever, makes your household work. But coming to the last question, if I may, I want you to tell every mother out there, what is the process that they should go through when they pick their pediatrician?
Oh, wow. So first of all, luckily, I have to say this, I was recommended
Thank you very much.
by my friend Parul.
Yes.
And one of the best things she's ever done for me was you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have shifted to Goa and I still call Doc. He is on my speed dial.
It's an honor.
When you pick your pediatrician, please go with someone who is accessible. That's number one.
Correct.
I don't want to call a secretary and then be on standby. I want at that moment for someone to just put me at ease. The second most important thing is when you're choosing your pediatrician, have somebody that empowers you and makes you who knows that you got to depend on your instinct.
Right.
Finds out what kind of a mother are you. For example, I'm into a lot of naturopathy.
Right.
I do homeopathy, I do Ayurveda, and you don't ever diss that. You don't ever judge me for it. You always say, okay, Sameera, I know I'm going to recommend this, and you're going to end up doing that. But with that, can you also do a bit of this?
Keep this as a backup.
Yes. You meet me halfway because
Correct.
you already know that I come from a different thought process.
Correct.
But I need you because I need to know that I'm making the right decisions.
Absolutely.
So number one, that's most important. Get a doctor who understands who you are and what you would like the direction of your
Right.
child care to be.
Right.
And the third most beautiful thing about having a pediatrician is have someone who just guides you in the most therapeutic way, which is doc, and who will not judge you at all.
Yeah.
Go with it, go with the flow, and just make this happen for you the way you want it. Now, these are three very big asks, but I've got that with you, doc. and I'm happy
No,
about
thank
that.
you so much. No. She's just being super nice here. But my goal is to make every parent realize that parenting is the toughest job in the world. Toughest job in the world. And it is technically an honor to be picked as someone's pediatrician, to kind of be there. And we technically become their family members for those few
Yes,
years.
for sure.
Yeah.
But
And
doc, I won't forget about you when my kids grow up.
oh, that's so nice. Let's do this 5 years later. We'll okay. No. She's always been absolutely what we call as thankful for just me doing my job. And I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And what I feel is being accessible, we want that, but we also want to respect the mother's feelings.
True.
And the entire process should have only one goal, is to make the mother and the father confident parents to battle sicknesses, because sicknesses are not going anywhere. Every week you're learning on new viruses, new treatments, crazy fevers, crazy this. To stay calm, to get through this, and to know that your child is only getting tougher, till 5 to 7 years going through sicknesses, then reaching a point where they can go anywhere in the world and they'll be fine.
Yes.
As compared to our cousins coming in from the west,
Yeah.
one pani puri and straight to the hospital.
True, that's true.
So we don't want that. No, it's just jokes apart. We're making them stronger. Every sickness makes them stronger. Remember that.
So well put.
So for a lack of a better word, we're going to have a rapid fire. That's been kind of a used
Yeah,
thing, but
no,
what
it's
it
fun,
means
it's fun.
is a quick questionnaire.
Yes.
Okay. You have to say cheers to that if you've done it
Yeah.
before.
Okay.
Okay. Number 1, using a phone, paperless. Felt guilty when leaving the house.
Cheers to that and cheers to that right now.
Okay. Lovely. Thought about family members before yourself.
Triple and quadruple cheers to that. Always doing that, but working on it.
I'm getting some massive branding right now. With this. Panic called the pediatrician without thinking.
Cheers to that.
One cheers. I think
One
you're
cheers.
sorted now.
Yeah.
You're a little more
But doc's
comfortable.
on my speed dial. Number 3.
So I think, number 3. Respect. Number 3, yes. Okay. It's a good one, actually. Laughed while crying over a silly incident while parenting. It's the roller coaster.
Wow. Of course, cheers to that, because I think that I'm still finding my way and I'm making mistakes, and then it's really, really hard to not laugh about it, because sometimes you're just like, what am I doing?
Or retrospectively thought, did I actually cry on that?
Yeah, exactly.
And now
Yeah.
laugh about it?
True.
That's the beauty of parenting. Yeah. Panic medicated a child?
Not cheers to that. I am very calm when it comes to medicating. I just I vomit all my frustration to you, and then I just keep quiet.
So my cheers to not cheers to that. Good job. Okay. Okay, this is quite common, I'm sure. Broken down over a trivial incident. Anything to do with your children?
Cheers to that, because as I say, I'm extremely hormonal. So it all depends on my mood. So sometimes even, in fact, if Hans comes and makes a drawing for me also, sometimes I'm like, I cry even out of happiness. So I cry a lot, actually.
I think there is no shame in crying.
No,
and
there's
I
no
tell that
shame.
to all the fathers also. When they're worried with their sick children,
Yeah.
why just the mothers?
Yeah.
Express yourself. You're worried.
Yes.
You're concerned. Your heart is breaking seeing your child go through those fevers and sicknesses. Express it. We're
Yes,
there. We're there.
absolutely.
I think it makes you a better parent.
Absolutely.
And last question, not slept for more than 3 nights in a row when parenting.
Oh God, when I first had the babies, yeah, I barely slept. Not 3 nights, many a night.
So
Akshay and me and my mother-in-law, the 3 of us together.
So 3 cheers to that. 3 nights, 3 cheers. And the last closing question, and not just close to this session, many more. This has been absolutely amazing, Sameera, you know, getting goosebumps.
Aw.
What is the one thing in your life that made you go from tears to cheers?
Oh, wow. The one thing, so many things, but the one thing, tears to cheers.
Take your time.
I think overcoming postpartum depression, when I really thought I was at a bottomless pit. I couldn't see my beautiful baby, I couldn't see my beautiful husband, I couldn't see the beautiful world. And from those tears, it's absolutely here today with you beautiful people, cheering it on and being able to see everything through the not nice and the nice. And that is what I'm most proud about.
Correct.
Even like for myself, I think that I'm ever so grateful to be here with you all you guys cheering on.
Thank you so much. And that's what your journey has been. I think you cannot enjoy the highs if you don't respect the lows.
Absolutely.
You have to recognize your lows. You have to work on it, which you've done in a most incredible fashion. Come out shining and you're only halfway there.
No way, I've got a long way to go.
Yeah. You're unstoppable. So thank you so much for your time, your energy, your positivity. It's been an absolute, I can't believe I'm doing this for the first time.
Doc,
but it
I'm
feels
telling you,
like
you have so many more to go, right? You have so many of these podcasts.
but-
I'm cheering you on. And seriously, from tears to cheers, I hope you take all the mothers through this beautiful journey, give them these viral videos. And the most important thing, have happy mamas out there put to rest, knowing that information is key with Doc.
I am overwhelmed with my team's effort. I want to thank them. I want to thank you for being the first one. She was the one who encouraged this.
Yes.
And my team set it up in 3 days. And we were like, if Sameera is coming, we are not going to sleep for 3 nights.
All right.
So thank you so much for joining us. Like she said, many more to come. Thank you, Sameera.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey guys, if you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe so it gives us the energy to do more.